My next door neighbour, when I was growing up, was Cliff Richard. He came across from India when partition happened with his parents and his sisters, and they lived next door to us in Waltham Cross in a... They had one room in their auntie's house. I mean, these were 3-bedroom houses, and they had one room for all of them. Eventually, they moved out, but for 3 years maybe, he was my next door neighbour. But also, we were both members of Cheshunt Boys Club. Now, this was a very good boys' club. Had lots and lots going on, football, all of those things. But it also had music. The leader was very much into music. So for about 1 and 6 a year to be a member of the club, we could rehearse for nothing. I mean, it's just ridiculous. So lots of bands rehearsed there, and lots of bands made it. But they had dances, they had talent competitions, and so Cliff was. He was Harry in those days, of course. Cliff was part of that, the fabric of that. It started at Cheshunt Boys Club, really, and so there were so many bands rehearsing there that the gigs were available at all times, you know, and we met all the other bands, and that's where Unit 4+2 came from. They had been members of Cheshunt Boys Club too. Adam Faith came along more or less because of my relationship with Cliff Richard. Adam Faith was looking for a bass player, and my brother-in-law-to-be was a bass player. So he got the gig, and whereupon it was decided that the drummer they had was very much to palais band. You know, in those days, people played in palais, and it was strict tempo, and they wanted some... I wasn't a long, hairy rocker at all in those days, but I was a rocker, and they wanted somebody like me. And so I got the gig, and next thing I know, I was on a plane to Australia and New Zealand with Adam Faith. Hadn't even been out of the country, never mind on a plane. My mother was a teacher, and when the call came from Adam Faith, I thought, I'm never going to get away with this. And my mother thought it was a good idea. How weird is that? My father thought it was a good idea because he was very into big band music and knew everything about big band music, which of course I wasn't playing, but ere long I was rubbing shoulders with the drummers of the time. And they sort of became, well, they were friends, because drummers are very friendly people. I'm not quite so sure whether guitarists are as friendly as drummers are, you know. I think guitarists are a bit suspicious of each other, you know. They think he's going to be stealing my licks. Now, we drummers were stealing licks, but it was expected. So the next thing I know, I'm on a plane to Australia, and we were backing Johnny Layton, and then we started, but this was the era of the all-round entertainer. So you couldn't just be a drummer. You had to be able to tell jokes. You had to be able to dance. You had to be able to possibly sing, because you were going to be doing pantomimes and summer seasons and all that. So it didn't matter whether you were the Beatles or the Hollies or Adam Faith or Cliff Richard. That's what you did. And there was no escape from the all-round entertaining part of it. You know, you were expected to dance, you were expected to sing, and you were expected, and besides doing your own thing, which was the reason you were there in the first place. So we became all-round entertainers.